bit of my breakfast muesli provides a good start into the day. Another day, another chance. It's difficult to predict, but that's the wilderness. So hope we will have some interesting observations and have a successful day. I keep on searching while driving past some elephant bulls. They seem to be used to vehicles and allow passing at a short distance away from them. The oxpeckers have a symbiotic relationship with the buffalo. Both parties have got a benefit. The buffalo is rid of ticks and parasites, and the oxpeckers find food, a win-win situation. The African jacana doesn't seem to be afraid so close to this in relation gigantic animal. Its relationship to the buffalo is of a parasitic nature. The African jacana benefits from the buffalo chasing insects into the air while walking. The buffalo does not have a benefit, but doesn't have a disadvantage either. I find waterbuck attractive. Somewhat longer hair on their skin, an interesting set of horns of the bull, and an attractive facial marking. There was a substantial wind in the area. I'm surprised how this daintily built dragonfly manages to land on such a tiny twig. Everything happens here under the watchful eyes of a peaceful side by side of two bulls. There's nothing here worth fighting for. Both are not in must. There's sufficient water for everyone, lots of juicy grass, and no ladies around. The most colorful bird along the river with the perhaps ugliest call. The most colorful stork along the river. Unfortunately, I only managed to spot one of them. Also, this African darter was the only one I managed to spot during my visit, all as a consequence of the widespread availability of water. Under normal circumstances, the river provides many excellent sightings of cormorants and African darters. The call of the fish eagle is for me the call of Africa. Occasionally a tight passage between bushes. No wonder that the paintwork of my vehicle shows a lot of scratch marks. A quasi-parasitic relationship. Usually the cattle egret walks next to the buffalo and picks up insects which are chased into the air by its legs when walking. The cattle egret has the benefit, however, on occasion when a tick moves up the leg of the buffalo, the cattle egret picks it up and removes it. Then the relationship turns symbiotic. The oxpecker is always sitting on the buffalo. The cattle egret walks under normal circumstances next to the buffalo. Here the buffaloes are feeding in the water. The water is too deep for the cattle egret. It chooses to rather keep out of the water by standing on top of the buffalo and waiting for the odd insect to emerge. One can probably drive through this water, but being alone and without another vehicle assisting me in case of trouble, there's only one choice. In cases of doubt, don't do it. With elephant bulls so peacefully grazing, it is not risky to get out of the car for a selfie. Hello, this is me. A blue wildebeest bull with its fan club. Real harmony in the wild. Neither the wildebeest bull nor the impalas are offended that an animal of another species is walking alongside. The marking at the backside of the impala remind one of the capital letter M, like Mike. Some people therefore refer jokingly to impalas as the McDonald's buck. A waterbuck cow with its young. The young one is lying down for a rest. The red letchwe, shaggy coat, broad hooves which prevent the animal to sink too deep into mud, and high hindquarters which indicate that this antelope is capable of jumping through water-covered and muddy grasslands. An oxpecker at work. The buffalo is used to this busy companion and carries on grazing unfazed. To film banded mongoose is like guarding a bag of fleas. They are constantly on the move and run around in the high grass. They are usually occurring in large groups. Kudu cows don't carry horns. Due to their short neck, warthogs prefer grazing by moving along on their knees. Rather rare seeing a hippopotamus grazing outside of the water during the day. Bulls are constantly fighting for dominance. The oxpecker is not short of work to see to all those wounds. Tests have indicated that the saliva of the oxpeckers is antiseptic, and by removing the scab from the wounds, this contributes to a faster healing process. Elephants enjoy a mixed diet. Besides grass, they feed on leaves, which together with small branches are chewed. 40% of the food intake is discarded almost undigested. This means that an elephant produces approximately 100 kilograms of dung each day. They also peel occasionally the bark of trees, which leads to substantial damages as the trees will not survive this treatment. A family group of elephants wading through the river to the other side. This is part of the famous Moremi National Park. This man-made partition of the natural environment is of no interest to the elephants. One elephant is staying behind, enjoying a bath in the river. To only spray water over the body is not enough. A nice dip in the water is more effective. Here comes another family group and joins into the happy splashing. The little ones are also getting bold and are getting almost totally submerged. The example has now entirely disappeared under the water and resurfaces with a surprise move. The matriarch must have had enough of the water splashing and seems to have called for the departure. They don't carry on to the other side of the river, but instead are turning back to where they came from. This spectacle again confirms that the river belongs to the elephants.